Now I'm going to invite our beloved PMI Bangalore India Chapter President, Mr. Vijay Paul, for his message on the chapter's key initiatives in this direction. Mr. Vijay has been involved as an executive member of the PMI Bangalore India Chapter and has served the chapter in various roles like Director, Volunteering, VP Finance for about 10 years in multiple terms. Professionally, Mr. Vijay is the CEO for SM NetServe Technologies in Bangalore and drives several business initiatives in addition to operations. He has worked with IT, healthcare devices, and service industry for over 30 years with large corporations as well as medium-sized companies like GE and Wipro. He holds a postgraduate degree in management from IIM Ahmedabad and is an electrical engineer from IIT Delhi. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Vijay Paul, President, PMI Bangalore India Chapter.
Thanks, Rakesh, for the intro for myself, and thanks, Sheshasai, for all your effort for putting together this particular event for us. My sincere welcome to all the delegates, participants, the sponsors, as well as our beloved Mr. Raj, come all the way from Mumbai to be with us. And then, of course, all the volunteers and our chapter support system. It has been overwhelming response for our E&C symposium. We have been having taken a small journey last year, like what Sheshasai had said. But I think what Henry Ford told some point of time is that coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. So I think we took some baby steps in last year in terms of forming E&C Construction Forum as a strategic direction for the chapter to move into specific industry. The driver for this has been that traditionally in our chapter and also across the world, most of the membership and most of the activities have been focused on IT, particularly in India, and that has been our main area of growth over last so many years when the chapter was formed. But definitely we wanted to get a penetration into other industries. So E&C Forum was one of our strategic direction which we had put together in terms of making a small foray and making sure that we can reach out our activities and our events and also value add to the specific sectors. We got a tremendous response, what Sheshasai already covered, in terms of the community coming together. I think E&C Forum has become a very vibrant platform over last 1 year to really bring the whole community into a group where we can share specific areas and the challenges of each of the construction industry, which are very, very different from so many other industries. And then also bring in the best practices of other industries into the construction industry. And that's the two-way methodology which we have come together is really reaping, we are reaping those benefits now in the form of reaching the second year. And this symposium has been the kind of a hallmark in terms of moving our strategic direction for the construction industry. In addition to these baby steps, we also started looking at how do we engage with the community over more periodically during the year. Because symposium is something which is strategically done for once in a year. So therefore we had those monthly events started, which is E&C PM footprints. And we got tremendous response on that. This is again on the third Saturday of every month, this E&C's footprints happen. And we got a networking opportunity for an hour, and we got some of the great speakers who actually contribute. And this has been our fabulous job done by all our volunteers, as well as our board members, and of course the E&C Forum and our advisory board. I think I would like to quote one of the share from, which was very apt, the way we have moved. मैं अकेला ही चला था जाने में मंजिल की तरफ, लोग साथ आते गए कारवां बनता गया. That I started with some baby steps towards my goals, which I wanted to achieve. And then people and the community started coming together, and we have Caravan, which is getting bigger and bigger. And I'm quite sure this Caravan is going to get much larger as we go along on our journey going forward. taking a cue from here, we also diversified, and with the success of E&C Forum, we also went ahead with forming one more forum, which is basically addressing another sector, which is the defense and public sector and the research sector. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to use these forums to leverage the talent, leverage the community, but also add value into the kind of projects which are doing for our national importance. The second PM E&C Symposium is primarily structured to raise the value to the delegates' experience to the next level. I think selection of the theme, which Shesha Sai has already covered, building better tomorrow, leveraging project management, is pretty apt in the kind of environment which we are sitting in today. The construction industry is definitely going through a major cusp of disruption. I think the decision which you have to take is that, do you want to be the disruptors or we want to be disrupted? The drivers which are already we have seen and writing on the wall is that we have major changes coming up in the legal framework. The industry has been recognized as a structured industry, and therefore there are advantages of bringing capital and also investments, which is going to help the overall industry growth. There is going to be a demand for higher transparency. The digitization is going to really be a game changer in terms of how the industry is operated. Consumer rights are becoming more and more powerful. We can see that even in my small area, we see that there is a kind of movement of residents versus commercialization. There is a whole lot of things happening in terms of the way things are going to be looked at in terms of all the development which you are doing. And of course, the emphasis on quality, safety and regulatory aspects, and managing the standards as per the global standards are going to become much more relevant for us. And therefore, in addition to that, we are opening up into the global competition. I think in certain areas, global competition will bring, in terms of the higher quality, better products and the better services to our consumer. But at the same time, I think competition can drive, we have to strive in terms of meeting the project goals, driving our costs down, and also building up our productivity and the likes. And therefore, end of it, what we are talking about building tomorrow is also that can we do more with less. I think that's where we are going to be looking at how project management can actually help in terms of building up that thought process and the mindset, I think, which Shesha really very well touched upon. And these disruptions also provide a major opportunity to set our bar higher, not only just at the organization level, but I think we're also going to look at how it actually, this bar is going to move our project management as professionals for ourselves. I think the basic tenet of delivering project success, as per the triple constraints which have been defined for all of us in terms of scope, time, cost, quality, etc., will remain, but the performance across them and how the PM community responds to them as our accountability and responsibility is going to become the mantra for our next time as we move forward. And interestingly, particularly from a PM perspective, as individual, as career, I think we need to scale up our skills, and we need to build up hone our competencies and skills towards how do we do things better. And that's where I think PMI really has come up with a very nice framework, and which is called PMI Talent Triangle, which basically covers what we need from project managers to really be successful in their career or in the industry or the work which they're doing. So primarily, the PM community is no more is group which is going to have only the tools and techniques and applied and give the results. I think PM community is being called upon understanding the business. Do we understand what we are doing? What are the business aspects and what are the business risks we are carrying in terms of the way we are executing the project? And how do we manage the value chain with reference to business? And then, of course, adapting those standards and frameworks, which are global frameworks, applied to them, and how we can have a common language. One of the things which we see in the risk in construction industry is that, are we talking the same language? I think with a diverse group of contractors, vendors, and so many people involved in a typical project, I think most of the productivity goes in terms of reconciling some of the things across. I think the common language is one where I think PMI helps a lot. And last and not the least, But in terms of behavior and leadership skills, where PMs are supposed to be having very clearly looking at how they can lead their teams, how they can be better player, how they negotiate, and so on and so forth. So I think we are on an exciting time from a project management perspective and how we can leverage ourselves to the advantage which you're going to get. And that's where I think the framework of E&C forum, as well as the community activity which we are doing, as well as the kind of platform which we are building in terms of either PM footprint or symposium, or tomorrow we could have a PM enrich, go deeper into the subject. All of them are actually the right platforms to really leverage for the construction industry, and we will like to call upon all of you to be part of that as we move on and get the caravan going bigger and bigger. This particular symposium is definitely going to talk about all the things which I talked about in terms of individual career development or related to tools and techniques, and also what PMI is really going to help you out and support you. In the end, again, I would like to thank all for having come and participated in the symposium, supported us in such a big way across, and I really like to see that this is not the last day we're going to meet. We're going to be continuing these interactions, and please come up, interact with the chapter, interact with PMI. We have got great things which you can share, and we can also learn from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay sir. And definitely a request to all the audience, the delegates here. As Vijay sir was mentioning, there's a lot of excitement. So do join us in these excitements, and in the future that is going to be coming up.